Hi everybody, it's the Irish Scrapper back with the Craft for the Crack design team project for October, which is a children's based theme. And I've decided what I'd do is a wall hanging for a nursery. So let me just run through some of the products I'm going to use real quick with you, and then we'll get on with the project. So I've used some Spellbinders nesting dies, butterfly dies. I've used sunflower dye, which I got from Mara in Crafty Corners here in Limerick, and then I've used some Two Crafts circle nesting dies, bits of scrap ribbon that I had in my stash, bits of card from my scrap pile, a piece of designer paper which I've cut to the size of my canvas, which is 10 by 8. These little dewdrops that I got in a place where they supply bits and pieces for weddings, some buttons, a shredding scissors, some Mod Podge to adhere the paper to the canvas, some glue dots, my glue gun should I need it, and the paper trimmer obviously. So without further ado, let's get on, and my heat gun, because I'm going to zap the paper with the heat gun to dry it off. So we're going to start and get on with the project. Obviously paintbrushes as well, and a glue stick. Those things, you'll always forget to mention something. So this is my 12 by 10 canvas. So I'm going to pour some Mod Podge onto the middle of the canvas. Oops, I didn't mean to put that much on. So I will quickly take some of it off and put it back on into the container. And I'd say we've more than enough on that. So I'm going to spread it evenly over the canvas. They say you should put it on liberally, not too thin but not too thick. And spread it nice and evenly over the canvas. Now, like that. So I'm going to take my piece of designer paper and lay it on. And centre it. And then what you do is, you can use your hands or take a brayer, but I've got Mod Podge all over my hands. So from the centre out, like that, so that you're rolling the air away from the centre of the canvas, and it's making good contact with the canvas, like that. Now, if I was making a wall hanging for a young adult or a teenager, I'd be distressing the edges and inking it up and what have you, but I think anything for a nursery is best left clean and simple. So what I did with the paper that I have here, it was glitter paper I bought in Tesco's. I got it for €1 in the sale after Easter last year. Was I cut a strip of it off, the blue colour, the reddish colour, this colour, and the green colour. And I used my scissors, to cut the grass out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere all the layers down using my glue gun. So I'm going to put the pink layer down first. Just put a thin layer of the glue along the bottom. And the glue gun is great because it will prevent it from coming off. And it's very difficult to stick things onto glitter paper. So that's why I'm using the glue gun. The only thing I find that works apart from the glue gun is glue dots. Now I used the green from scrap, so it's in bits and pieces, but that won't matter. Where's the other section of that after vanishing to? Here it is. I'll get that down. Like that. And then I'm left with the blue section, which I'm just going to run across the bottom like that. So that's the first embellishment on. Now what I did was I used the circle dies and the scallop circle dies to cut various size circles. And what I've done is I've taken them and I've layered them up. Now I have the button stuck onto the pink and the pink stuck onto the green with glue dots. But I don't need glue dots to adhere this to the paper piece here. So I'm just going to use my Pritt glue and stick it to the middle like that. And then I just cut a length of the glitter paper, which I'm going to use as my stem. And again, I don't really need the glue gun, so I'm going to use the Pritt stick and shove that down behind the grass and put the Pritt stick on the back of the blue paper and adhere that down like that. Now if you wanted to, you could put ribbon or thread through your button. I didn't see any need, I just wanted to stay plain and simple. So these are the layers that I'm going to use for my second flower. I have a little button. So I'm going to take one of the glue dots. Here. These are nice big glue dots actually. And I'm going to put it on the back of that. And that will stick to the glitter paper. And I don't, oh yes I do, I need one for the next layer because it's going on glitter. So I'll take it and put it on the back of the blue piece. I don't know, when you see them doing this in the States, it always comes off. Anytime I do it, it's hit and miss whether the glue dot will come off or not. Stick that here. Then we don't need a glue dot for this because it's paper on paper. Like that. And I am going to use a glue dot on the button just to make sure it doesn't fall off. Then we need a stem for that. And again, I'm just going to use the Pritt glue, which I'm nearly out of, on the back of that because we're gluing paper to paper. That down behind, and it's a little bit higher than the other flower. And Pritt to stick the paper to paper again. Like that. We're on to the third flower. So you can watch all this and fast forward because otherwise it'll be like watching, I don't know what they say. have those stuck on. Okay, and then I'm going to take my the die cut that I cut from the sunflower, and I'm going to adhere that up here as my sun, and I'm going to adhere that down with the Mod Podge. Like that, and it doesn't matter that the Mod Podge got on the outside of the raise, because that dries back matte. And then I've just put two of these little brads, which I've coloured in a kind of a red colour and a black smiley mouth, and I'm going to put those on with a couple of dimensionals because of the brads. Otherwise I would have adhered them with the glue dots. Like that. Now I use these two scraps of paper to cut out cloud shapes, which I just did freehand. So I cut it out in a pale blue and a white, and normally I would put those on with ordinary Pritt Tack, but because I've run out, I'm just going to put on a layer of the Mod Podge. Put a cloud down there, and the same with the blue. I'm just going to slightly overlap them like that. Then I've got some butterflies that I cut out with the butterfly die here, and I'm going to layer them. I'll put the dark one on the bottom and the light one on the top, and I'm going to use the glue gun because it's glitter paper we're sticking it to. So just a little bead of the hot glue. And layer them one on top of the other like that, and I may as well go and use the glue to adhere it to the project as well. And I've got another little butterfly, and again one layer on top of a darker layer. So a blob of hot glue, put the lighter colour on top of the darker colour. And I've just put the wings, I pinched the wings to make them stand up, and I'm going to adhere that with another blob of hot glue, and I'm going to put him down on the grass like that. Then the last thing I'm going to do to the project is to put some bows, and I just used some bits of scrap ribbon that I had lying in my stash and just tied them into a little bow, and I'll put a tiny bit of hot glue and stick the ribbon, and they're taking the place of leaves. Oops, I've lifted that whole thing there. Quite obviously, guys, when you're doing this at home, take your time. I'll go back over everything I've done here and make sure that it's secure. And the last little one here. Okay, so that's my October project, and have a go and see what you think. And I'd like you all to try and participate in the Craft for the Crack design team project. It's easy, anything to do with children will do. Get your entries in there and you'll be with a chance of being within the top 3. Okay, thank you, and we'll be back soon with another project.